Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. It was good seeing some of you at church on Sunday. Good having people in the pews. That was really encouraging for me and exciting. And some of you still watched online. That's awesome. And some of you shared that. And I think altogether we had like 320 views on our Facebook page from our service this past Sunday, which was fantastic. And whether people just watched us for a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes, it was just great having so many people engage with us. But really, really excited about having people in the pews. That was just wonderful. And I don't know about you, but I needed something positive, something encouraging, something good to think about, because this season has been full of so many difficult things to think about, so many painful things to think about, and just frustrating things. It's not been an easy year. And Sunday we talked about something Jesus says that we can do in seasons of change, in seasons of difficulty, in seasons of the ordinary. Something we can and should be doing at all times. Really two things Jesus tells us: love God, love your neighbor. I mean, most of us know just how powerful love is. Love sets the tone for your life. It is what drives your life and directs the course of your life. What you love is going to influence how you spend your time, your resources. It's going to influence how you set your priorities. It's going to determine your values. So much of your life is determined and driven by the things that you love. And Jesus says your first love, number one, should be the Lord. In Matthew 22 and other places, Jesus says, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, soul, and mind. And Mark and Luke, he adds, and strength. Love the Lord with everything that you have, because if the Lord is your first love, that's going to be an anchor to your soul in seasons where it seems like everything is changing, everything's in turmoil, everything is uncertain. When you love him first, that is going to be a precious anchor to your soul, because God is one who is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And when that relationship is right, and when that love comes first, that's going to enable you to navigate so many difficult seasons, even seasons like this. But in the second part of that he puts right in there with it, love God with everything you have, and love your neighbor as yourself. Love God, love others. And as we find ourselves in such a difficult season, how powerful and how important that is, loving one another. Whether it's different views about politics, race, even what the right thing or the wrong thing to do is about pandemics and social distancing. Love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself, which means seek their best interest. Help them thrive in whatever ways that you can. And one way that we talk something that you can do, that one specific way you can love your neighbor, is to show empathy. Empathy means trying as best you can, as much as you can, to put yourself in their shoes, to try to understand what they're thinking, what they're feeling, where they're coming from, what their experiences have been, why are they feeling or reacting a certain way. It's trying as much as you can, though it's limited, the best you can to put yourself in their shoes. Now here's the problem with empathy. I'm going to move the camera in a really old-fashioned way. Empathy requires somebody. It's hard to show empathy if there's no relationship with someone else, specifically someone who is different than you. And I think it's one of the challenges in this season right now. We watch so many things in the news, we read so many articles, we have so many stats, and our lives are bombarded really with opinions. And there's not enough relationships. We are fed too many opinions, and we don't have enough relationships. So a powerful way to show empathy is to begin to try to find people and have a conversation with. I had a conversation with two two different people who are very different from me. And what I tried to do in those conversations is just listen, not debate. And everything they said I didn't agree with. Everything they said I didn't understand. So much of what they said I couldn't relate to, but I did the best I can to try to listen, so that I could understand, not so that I could debate or correct. I try to put myself in their shoes rather than asking them to put themselves in my shoes. I try to show empathy by listening to understand. That's a powerful thing that we can do, and a powerful way to love our neighbor. Because so much of what we're hearing right now is opinions. And so much of what we are projecting, whether it's in our conversations, on social media, wherever we may find ourselves, is our opinions about so many things, from pandemics to race to politics. And all that's creating division, and it makes it hard to love our neighbor. So show empathy by finding someone, have a relationship with someone, a conversation with someone, trying to listen to someone to understand. Don't debate. And here's just one thought with that. When you hear something that you don't agree with, that you don't understand or have any kind of a framework to really process, don't engage in a debate. Show empathy by listening. And take all your questions and take all your struggles to the Lord. Don't debate those with the person. Listen, understand, ask questions to understand, and then take all the areas where you're struggling and make them a matter of prayer to the Lord. Tell God, they said this, and I sure don't think that's right. I didn't agree with this. I don't quite understand that. Take those to the Lord, make it a matter of prayer. And then Jesus says this about the Holy Spirit in John 16, verse 13. He will guide you into all truth. If we just showed empathy to one another, loved our neighbors by listening, trying to understand, rather than to debate them, I just feel like that's going to produce better results. Fruit that we all desperately want in this season. And I don't want to be overly simplistic on this, but I just feel like if we love God and love our neighbors, that's going to go a long way to change this broken world. Jesus said that's the most important things we can do. And Jesus modeled it. And his love for the Lord and his love for us changed everything. May we follow in his footsteps too.